All right. Welcome everybody to the Perfect Action Show. See, in the show today, we actually talk to six, seven, and eight-figure earners and how they obtain success, and also how we can do it too. All right. So today, I actually have here Dave Speed, the Turo King, the dude who knows the ins and outs of how you can obtain the life, the wealth, and the knowledge. And without further ado, I want to introduce Dave Speed. How you doing today, man?
What's good, man? I'm awesome, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm ecstatic, bro.
There we
I'm always
go.
ecstatic. So tell me, bro, before we get started, how's your day so far? Like going good?
Amazing. Better than good. Better than good, man. Like,
All right.
listen, any day I get a chance to wake up, man, take a deep breath, man, air in my lungs, blood pumping through my heart, I already won. Everything after that is a bonus.
Facts, facts, facts. I love that. I love that. So look, just so we dive a quick deep into it, all right? So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and how you got started in your field and what you do?
For sure, for sure. So yeah, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, man, and born and raised here. And I know it's not necessarily what you would think about when you're thinking about successful rental car business and things like that. A lot of people think A markets, Atlanta, L.A., Miami, but that's not the case, and I've been able to build a very successful business as a car rental owner here. I started out a little over 2 years ago, and started out with a fleet of. I actually started with one vehicle, and quickly went to two,
Okay.
and then was able to build a substantial fleet up from that point, still while keeping a 9 to 5 because I actually do still have my job. So part of my message with that, really is the fact that you can do this from anywhere is a very customizable business around your lifestyle, um, whatever that thing may be, right? You can actually structure this and it works very well around the life that you already live. So not only, am I not doing it, full time, I have, a double digit fleet that I operate part time as well as having a career that I've been in, for nearly 20 years as well. So I'm able to do all of that. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm all of those things, and it's really it's able to make it work, man, and it does very well. I service the Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Columbus, Ohio areas, and I'm one of the top hosts in the area. So, yeah,
Okay.
it's successful, bro.
Nice. I love it. I love it. That's actually too. It's funny that you talked about too. About like how you started your fleet and everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how you're a husband and father. Because I'm a father too.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 3-year-old, love him to death. And actually, I actually plan on getting back into the Toro business myself. I actually did do it briefly a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Where you located at?
Right now, I'm located in Virginia. Right now, I'm
Okay.
actually in the RV, DMV area.
Oh yeah, listen, I got students out there, bro. You can get spicy.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah. See, when I first did it, I actually saw it too. You follow with him, Matty J.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like he was the first dude I came across,
Mm-hmm.
and like I got his course and everything,
Yep.
and I actually ended up finding out like all the cool tips and tricks about Turo. This before I even got into it. I tried messing around with it, and I actually did my car. Now I didn't think about it though. See, I only have my one car. I need to get two from work, but so I need to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I did it the first time, there was like definitely some stuff that I didn't know then that I do know now. So like I had to make sure now too, like with the way you teach, right? I'm pretty sure you definitely give them all the do's, the don'ts, because you know you've been through failures, you've been through what to do, what not to do, right?
Yes. Yes.
And let's see, Brandon says Turo's still a good industry to start a business. Is it still a good industry to start a business
Absolutely,
still?
bro. Absolutely. When you're looking at cash on cash returns, man, it's really nothing that beats it. When you're talking about ease of getting into, and if you get into it the right way, I specify that because you can easily get into this business the wrong way and lose money. Right? It's easy to do. Um, but if you know the rules and you abide by your own process, you develop that process by, of course, tapping into somebody like me as a mentor, but then also me teaching you how to read your market to find out what vehicles are best for your market and what are the best deals to get into that vehicle at. It could be a great vehicle for your market, but if you get into that vehicle in a bad deal, you're never going to be profitable. So it's a lot of back work that you need to do to make sure that you're doing this the right way. It's like any other business, you know. And I think that a lot of people kind of jumped in at one point off of the hype,
Right.
and they didn't jump in strategically. And when you take a look at how they were running their businesses, I see a lot of people. I'll do audits of people's tour business and things like that from time to time, and I look and I'm like, I'm looking at your fleet and your pricing. I can guarantee you're not making no money. You know what I mean? I just know by looking at your entire profile that it's not working out for you, you know? And a lot of the times it's how you got into the business, what types of vehicles you took when you got in. In addition to that, it's a different market today in 2023 than what it was in 2020 and 2021, right? You don't have a lot of that PPP money, that STEMI money, that's gone now,
Yeah,
right?
that's gone. Nobody
So
can get that no
yeah,
more.
no, 100%. So when people were looking at, I just had a guy ask me a couple of weeks ago. I was at a mastermind, and a guy was like, "Oh yeah, I heard you the guy for Turo." He said, "Man, he said you got an I8 in your fleet. How many I8s you got?" I'm like, none. I don't have any I8s in my fleet because I know my market, and I know that that's not a vehicle that's going to book consistently enough for me to be able to turn the type of profit that it needs to turn for what that investment is, right? So that's why you got to know what's working, you know, before you jump in and try to come into the market with something completely different. I always use the example, you know, like you in Birmingham, Alabama, and you got a luxury car fleet, right? You got an exotic car fleet in Birmingham, Alabama. Probably not. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not going to do.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to give the way you wanted to give. You know, but it was because you saw something and you decided that, you know, hey, this looks cool and I want to jump into it this way. A lot of people lost that way. A lot of people did, but the people that were able to, you know, to structure their business in a strategic way, man, they're doing really good right now. Really good.
Yeah, and you're right though, right? About like people buying luxury cars. A lot of people think, oh, once I get this Tesla or once I get this Mercedes Benz S class, like, hey, we gonna start making bread out the vans. But it's like, no, you gotta understand where you're coming from, understand your environment that you in, right? 'Cause,
Bro, I
like,
have saved people from making like multiple $1,000 mistakes in their business based off of what you just said right now.
right, and like the biggest thing, like I feel like myself that there's always gonna be a good sale in the area. It's always gonna be economy cars.
Hmm.
And I heard too lately that a lot of people get into like the big like Ford F-150s lately because like people moving constantly.
Hmm.
People probably need it for certain like jobs or projects. So yeah, like those type of things I think makes will probably make you way more money. Like a $20,000 car could probably make you multi six figures a year compared to a S class, and it's not making you much because it's always a hit and miss with that.
Right, right. Yeah, it's the return. It's the return on those vehicles. I wouldn't even say 20. You could go 12. You could go 15. You know, 12, 15K on a vehicle, on the right vehicle, and it'll do you well. You know, I would say the most important thing, and people forget about this when they get into their business, you have to think about the type of client that you want to serve. What is your client avatar, right?
Hmm.
So, you know, with me and my mentees, man, I always talk about is right before we start any of our sessions, we start our sessions with affirmations because we want to speak positivity into your business. You want to speak, you know, love, abundance, light into your business because you could be the only one doing it. You know, so you got to
Hmm.
put those words out, and then you want to start thinking about, you know, what type of client do I want to have? What type of clients do I want to be booking from me? I want them to have happy trips. I want them to take care of my vehicles when they're in it. Who's going to be driving the type of vehicle that I'm looking to enter into the marketplace with? And if this is the type of client I want, how do I get their attention? Right? How do I present something in the market that they're going to want? If it's business travelers, if it's families, if it's vacationers that are coming in for specific events, anything like that, I want to make sure that I have the type of vehicle that's going to appeal to the client that I want. So when you talk about, you know, a lot of things that people have with, you know, these bad stories about, you know, what clients have done, I mean, you're going to have challenges in the business, but I don't have near as many of those types of stories as other people may have just because of the client that I target. And they enjoy my vehicles. They enjoy the way I keep them up. And, you know, it's always been good. I have clients that take just as good care of my vehicles as I do.
So speaking of challenges,
Hmm.
what would you consider when you were starting? What would be considered a challenge that you had to like overcome in order for you to get to that next level or that next step?
Yeah, well, first, anything, like anything, you want to have a system, right? And when I initially started this business, I had no system. That wasn't something that was necessarily part of the learning instruction material that I had, when I started out. But
Right.
it's also something that's going to kind of be different for everybody else. That's why I think it's great when you have someone that can be more of a mentor as you're going through the process, because they can help. They can go through it with you and show you, hey, look out for this here. This is what you need here. Hey, you have a strategic advantage here, leverage that, you know. So there were things that I found that worked against my original plan for the business, and I didn't find that out until I got into it. So I lacked strategy at the very beginning. One thing that I was doing, and this is a mistake that I see a lot of people making this free game here. A lot of people want to try to hand deliver every vehicle at the beginning of every trip to every customer, and it drove me crazy. It drove me crazy at the beginning. Like I said before, we want this to be something that you can structure around your lifestyle, right?
Uh,
But the way I was running that business at that point in time, there was no way I had a lifestyle, right? In addition to that, when I'm trying to meet every single customer, face to face, hand to hand drop offs, it was not working out. So I had to develop my own system that made it able for me to be able to deliver cars at my convenience, not at the convenience of where my customers were arriving, right? So once
mhm.
I figured that system out for me, it made life easier. It gave me the opportunity to be able to scale, and still, man, take my kids to school and pick them up and go to, practices and all of that, and make sure also that I'm giving my clients a premium experience. So, once you have a system and you're able to adopt it, that's when you'll start to see the business get a little more manageable. But at the beginning, you know, trying to meet every single customer face to face, is very difficult to do.
I agree. I agree. And I believe too, right, that I think some of the biggest obstacles in our life, especially us as black men, let alone let alone us having kids, right, is creating that balance of being able to still spend time with your kids and your loved ones, but also still be able to get the job done at the end of the day. I think that's like one of the biggest things that's hard for a lot of men to find that balance too, because they feel like, well, I gotta put all this time and effort into this, so that means I have to spend less time with my daughter, my son, my wife, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But then it's like some people struggle with, okay, I may just have to do it just for now, just for a little bit, just so until at least I get, like you said, systems in place. Then I can then spread out and then make it more even out and stuff. And that's the biggest thing is finding somebody who actually going to be able to believe in you, support you through that time because, we all not perfect. It
Hmm.
always takes time and effort for us to get to that next level in life, right? Now,
100%.
was you, who you say would be like your biggest influence or your role model?
Biggest influence and role model. Man, I'm blessed, bro. And I would have to say, honestly, my parents, overall. So, uh, she passed away in 2018, and
Oh, I'm
God
sorry to hear
bless her,
that.
man. I keep this little painting that you see right there is something that she painted that I just
That's a
always
beautiful
keep in my,
painting. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, bro. I just kind of always keep it in my area, and a lot of other things to remind me of her. But I would say her for different reasons, and but the same principle, and my dad, the same thing, bro. Perseverance, man. Like when I look at them, I think of commitment. I think of perseverance. I think of when you fall, you get back up. When you fall, you get back up. When you fall, you get back up, man. And I couldn't stress that as anymore as the most important thing and the most important factor that makes you successful in life and in business. Because what a lot of people do is they'll go for something that they feel like is a goal or it's a purpose of theirs, and they'll go chase that thing, but they think if I'm on the right path, then it's supposed to be smooth, and it's absolutely the opposite. It's not supposed to be smooth, right? One of the laws of nature is that there's always going to be distraction that follows your intent. Always, right? Disruption
Without a
is going
doubt.
to follow your intent. So if you think about anything that's ever come into the world in a beautiful way, right? When you talk about a baby, when you talk about anything positive, um, there's gonna be pain that comes with that. There's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be things that are trying to prohibit you, right, from bringing that thing to pass. But the best stuff in the world, bro, comes from trial. It comes from tribulation. The most beautiful things we have in our society are things that almost never were because of the forces that were up against it. So if it's something that you want to do, if it's a business, if it's a book, if it's, anything that you feel like you have to offer to the world, like, you got to embrace the struggle that comes with it. You got to be able to fall and get back up
100%.
and fall and get every single time, because it's going to be that eighth time you got up. It's going to be that ninth time that you have learned from all the previous falls. You feel me? Because it's not failure, it's feedback. So you're going to take that information and you're going to reintegrate it into that thing that you were doing. You're going to always reintegrate that learning. And you're going to inevitably be successful just on the strength of you decided not to quit. So
I feel
when you
you.
make that contract, and that's what I learned from my parents, for real, like the I was worth it, whatever it was, and that when you make that contract with yourself, no matter how many times that you fall, yo, it's the getting up that makes you a winner every single time. It's not the most talented, it's not the most potential, it's everything other than that. It's a ton of people, bro, that I know with talent and potential that didn't end up becoming, um, you know, famous or recognized for the things that they had that talent in,
Hmm.
and that are still not walking in that purpose, of their God given talent today, just because when they came up against a little obstacle, they decided to go the opposite way. And that's not what
Yeah.
does it.
One thing I believe is that some people believe you are a product of your environment, and to a degree, that's true. But that doesn't mean you have to stay in that environment. Like there's things in place to where you can literally navigate your way or put yourself in a position, a better position what you are. So that way it can at least give you at least the exit way for at least to leave that. So then you can go pursue, like you said, your purpose. Like your reason will keep on going. Like there's thing like I feel like us as a people that we never really actually had that time to actually like think to ourselves because like there's too many different distractions. And then when something good come along, the funny thing is though, right, is that the things that people do on a day-to-day basis, they don't consider that a distraction. But when you bring something along, then they consider that a distraction compared to what they already doing on a day-to-day basis. That's not part of their, their mentals, their programming, what they do every single day.
Bro, can we talk about distractions for a minute?
Yeah, yeah,
Listen,
100%.
man, when I tell you, bro, and I had already, like I said, man, multiple degrees, a very successful career already. So, what I do is I actually work for the Department of Defense. I'm a negotiator for the procurement of aircraft and weapon systems. So, I've worked on all of the, a lot of the major airframes that you've heard of. Like, I've actually, negotiated the contracts for those, right? But
Okay,
even with that, even with success in that field, there were still things that I didn't realize were distractions in my life that would not allow me ever to get higher than what I had already gone, that wouldn't allow me to reach the peak of what my ability was, and no matter what it was in, right? So some of those things we do that we don't even realize, you had a hard day, at your job, you know, 9 to 5 guy, right?
yeah,
You come home, you know what I mean? First thing you do, click the television on. It becomes a habit. It becomes something that, hey, it's quiet in the house. You walk in, boom. You know right where the remote is at. If you don't know where nothing at, you know where the remote
instantly.
at, right? You walk right in, boom, TV on. You know, Sports Center running, every hour forever. Non-stop. If you turn on ESPN, it's a wrap, right? Speaking from a guy's perspective. But
Facts.
anything else, you turn that on. You Netflix and you Amazon Prime. It's so easy for us to get into a habit where we're binging. They even call it that, binge watching, right? Binge is to overdo something. Binge used to be a word that was just really referred to as eating. When you were overeating, you were binge eating, right?
Facts.
So now
Yep.
you are binge watching. things that aren't going to the development of our minds, bro. And really, at the end of the day, it's a detriment. Those types of things are what's going to keep you from reaching the next level in your life. And when I remember I said this, that's why I never speak bad about New Year's resolutions. I think everybody should make them regardless, of whether you succeed in those. You should make them every year because at least you're beginning the year with good intention, right? No matter
Agree.
what happens,
Agree.
right? Try to stick to it, but at least you begin it, right?
Yeah.
So I had made it was a year, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to eliminate the amount of stuff that I'm doing that I know just isn't beneficial to me, and I want to start reading more, right?
Right.
And the year I did that was the year I put the framework in my life that changed my entire life. Like for real. That was the year that, even though, like I said, multiple degrees, I acquired knowledge within that year that has put me in the position that I am in today with operating a thriving business and helping people do the very same thing. It's
Mm.
because I started challenging what I was feeding myself here, right? The quote we
Yep.
hear all the time is, hey, what entertains you trains you, right? But here's the
Right.
thing, it's what entertains you trains you for sure, but what entertains you can also change you. So if you
Mm.
think in one way for so long, and it's because you've allowed things that aren't beneficial to you to entertain you, what do you think will happen, bro, when you switch that up and start allowing your entertainment to be different? When you start allowing your entertainment to be books about a particular subject that you want to get involved in from a business, about personal development, about um, about anything in terms of mind expansion. When you start listening to podcasts instead of watching, Netflix and ESPN, and watching everybody else's intention entertain you, you are now putting that same effort into tapping into a source that's edifying you. You changing what you're putting in, so your output is going to be different. If you ever want to change what your output is, you need to look at your input. So when I started changing my input, my mind started changing even more than what it was before, and my output started to be a reflection of what my input was. And
That's a
now
bar.
it's second nature to me now, bro.
Yeah, that's a bar right
Yeah.
there. What you just said was like literally like it was a point right on the head, bro. Like seriously. And you're right though. Like when it comes to like when you think about distractions, like for me, so I started literally like last week now, to actually start working on myself more.
Mm-hmm.
Cause say I'm on credit repair business, also teach people how to get business funding for the business and everything. And like one of the biggest things was that I have to surround myself and do income producing activities. So that means going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
listen to podcasts, listen to motivation videos, reading books. Like I gotta keep feeding myself these type of things so that way I can actually change my mindset up and then keep on going or going to that next level of what I want to do and what I want to attain in life.
Mm-hmm.
And like sitting down, like I mean, I play video games from time to time. I ain't gonna sit here in front, but I got now though, at least now though, what I would do to like fix that up or at least dress it is that I will create content and I will set like a whole day or two where I'm just creating straight content, spice all that up. And you know, with Instagram and YouTube and stuff, now you can schedule content pieces to come out. So now at least now while I am doing certain stuff, at least I know I did what I needed to do. So at least that way, at least I'm still doing, being consistent every single week, still doing the things I want to do. Like I said, it's finding that balance. And way people view things is like how I look at things is like if I'm driving, right? Even I may not think about doing it right now, but definitely in the future. Like I see a house, like yeah, the house looks good, but while you saying looks good, I'm saying okay, I can see how I can make money from this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about your point of view or perspective, because what really changes you is going to end up when the changes you can actually become who you want to be. It's just all about what you feed inside you, like you said, the input.
And
So
had
you're
you
not
not
right about that.
started acquiring that information, you wouldn't have even thought like that.
No.
It changes everything. So now what you've been able to do, bro, and this is what is crazy. This is what I'm finding out as well, is when people, because this entrepreneurship road is lonely. Like we have our communities
Yes.
where, that's why community is so important as well, because you want to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and like journeyed as well, right? So you have that. But outside of that community, when you talk about your daily life or you operate your friends, your family, you're probably one of the only ones that are doing what you're doing. So it's gonna be met with a level of misunderstanding to a degree, right? But the thing is, you're not just doing this to say, yeah, like you super grinding right now, but your grind is going to get you more information. That more information is going to make you more efficient. That
Mm-hmm.
more efficient is going to end up saving you time to give you more of the freedom that you were searching for in the first place. Like you talked about, you're now doing batch content. You probably wasn't doing that before. When you was
No,
figuring out how to do content, it was probably taking you forever to do one piece of content. Listen, I know it was for me. It definitely was for me. But now I'm able to do it a lot faster just because I took what's the name of this show, bro? Imperfect action.
perfect action.
You gotta really be, and I feel like this is a key too. I said consistency and not giving up, but you gotta really be willing to be trash for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you can't, you really can't embrace that because we're always concerned about being judged, right? I had a
Mm-hmm.
whole completely separate life, a whole different life before I went into entrepreneurship. So when I started talking about credit and when I started talking about financial literacy, when I started talking about vehicles, when I entered into that business, that was not what the people around me knew me for. They knew me for many other things, but it wasn't that. So I had to step out on courage imperfectly to say, you know what? You're going to start seeing me talk about different things now because this is now what I'm on. And for those who, are able to receive that and be edified by it, then cool. But if you're not, it's cool if you're not rocking with me. And you got to be okay with that. And the reason I say that is because it took me a while to realize, even though I'm well known where I'm from, I also got a whole world to serve. So
And
if you
that's the
get
biggest
caught
thing.
up in the small opinions of your current following, you know what I mean? That current, 1,000, 2,000 people that follow you, you know, you're negating the fact that you're going to reach hundreds of thousands of people if you walk in your purpose. So you concerned about the opinions of few, but you got the opportunity to be a blessing to many. You feel me?
I feel you,
You
bro.
gotta step out on it, right? And yeah, you're gonna be trash at first. You know what I mean? But you're gonna get a little bit better. And then you're gonna get a little bit better. And then you're gonna get a little bit better. And then you're gonna look back, like 3 months ago, man, I'm way better than what I was 3 months ago because of my consistency. Wow. 6 months ago, what I was doing, look at me now. When you look back and you had your head down and you grinding, look back a year ago and see where you were at a year ago and see what the result of consistency got you. Man, I look back a year ago, man, and I'm way more. Not only am I more accomplished, but I'm way more informed and more effective and efficient about how I do the things that I do. Who knows what it'll be a year from now? I have an idea of where I want it to be just because I know now that the compounding effect of effort and consistency can reap you a crazy ROI. Crazy ROI. So for
Yeah.
those of you that are thinking about doing something, listen, if it's the car rental business, tap in with me. But if it's anything, start today. Start imperfectly because you don't even have all the information you need to be perfect anyway. Like for real,
Right.
the people that you see that are doing it at a high level, they doing it at a high level because they did it over time. But you won't ever get to achieve that time until you start. That's the thing. We got to jump off the porch, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do it. You know what I mean? And the sooner the better. Yeah, so we just got to get out of our own way, get out of our head, and go ahead and make that leap. You don't got to see the whole staircase. All you got to see is the next stair in front of you. And I promise you that the rest of the staircase will be revealed to you. That's my promise.
Facts, facts. We're getting close to the time, but I do want to touch on two key things.
Let's do
Also,
it.
we do want to talk to you about something else after we finish this live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so before we end off everything, tell me, is there any upcoming projects or anything that you got coming up soon? Coming up?
Yeah, bro. Thank you for asking that. So, not only do I do the education in terms of the rental cars, and I'm very detailed with that. When you're talking about coaches that you want to link up in, listen. Yes, my wins qualify me, but the things that I did wrong in my business, I think qualify me more than even the wins do. So what you want is someone who has, like, if anybody tells you they haven't failed, that's not who you need to be rocking with. You need to rock with people that's made some mistakes and
Had
can
them
tell
receipts.
you right for sure that what's around that road is not where you want to go, and they can steer you in the proper direction and a path to prosperity, right? So um, what I'm doing right now is I have formed an amazing partnership with two other kings, man. My brother Greg Murray, who is GOAT in the Airbnb space, and
Mm,
another king, man, Damon P. Dillard, who has also been on this podcast as well. But he is an expert in high income sales, offer mastery, and also life insurance as well. So we have come
okay.
together to perform to form a community called the Power Play, right?
I
And
saw a
what
little
the
bit of that.
you
I saw,
yeah,
yeah, it was a
bro.
challenge you got going on,
We
right?
just had a challenge last week, man, and it was incredible. We just wrapped it up, and that was our first challenge that we've done, and you're gonna see a lot more from this group of individuals, man. What I think makes us different in this entrepreneurial space in terms of the education is it is a one-stop shop for all things car rental and Airbnb, but and as well as sales and how to monetize your message and package yourself as a marketer, right? But the other thing it does is if we just giving you information about how to get to the bag, I mean, you can get that information a lot of different places. But what we also want to concentrate as we're getting you the information is making sure that you are the person you need to become in order to execute, right? So it's a
Right,
be, do, have. And a lot of people get that be, do, have mixed up in a different order. They want to go straight to the have without being the be, right? Without actually showing up as the be. So if you are the person that's going to do the thing to have everything in life that you want, you have to become that person that it identifies with that end goal, right? if you're
right,
if you're looking to be wealthy and you're looking to generate a level of cash flow far beyond what you're currently bringing in, then you got to become the person that identifies with wealth. You have to become the person that identifies with the abundance that is due to you. But a lot of times, if we're not already living that life and have been for a while, we're conditioned by everything we were ever doing before, right? So even if we
100.
get a little money, we end up blowing it. We get a business off the ground, it ends up failing, we don't get it back up again. It's because we haven't became the person that identifies themselves as a successful business owner, a person that identifies themselves as having the systems and procedures that can make that cash flow, um, that can make it something that we know is going to be predictable, right?
Right,
That's going to come in. We have the systems that make it come in every month. We know what to do with each dollar when it comes in, right? Some of us never had a personal budget, but we trying to operate a business budget, and we really lost at that point, right? So we focus on the information and the plays, of course, but also you becoming the person that you need to become in order to do the thing to have everything that you want. So I think that this trilogy, so to speak, of individuals that have come together, listen, I think we're gonna help a lot of people, man. And the challenge was amazing, and we're building the community out right now. So I want everybody literally to continue to keep your eye out for the power play.
100,
Okay.
100%, 100%. Hey, before we leave, where can everybody find you at? And also as well, could you leave us like one bit of advice you want to give somebody out there who's actually looking the video, watching it, and then like they really want to feel like they're really feeling that connection. What can you really leave them with before you leave today?
When you say leave them with, are we talking about specific? Are we talking about specifics to the car rental industry, or are we just talking about life in
So
general, or what you want?
I'll just say right now, let's say life in general right now.
Cool,
Life in
for
general.
sure, for sure. So you can link up with me on Instagram. I am Dave Speed, and that is the main place I want you guys to go. Everything else you'll be able to access through my bio, through my link tree. You find everywhere else I'm at. From there, as well as my YouTube channel that I'm starting as well, which is I am Dave Speed. So store from Instagram, we branch out to the websites and everything from there. And listen, I would love to connect with each and every last one of you. I have a whole lot of free content on my IG page. If you're looking for bars, if you're looking for motivation, business tips, inspiration, all of that is there. Tap in with me and shoot me a DM and let me know that you came from the Imperfect Action Show, and let's see how we can connect and make some things happen as well.
Facts,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
Real quick, we do have Brendan. He did ask a question. He was saying systems and procedures are huge. How does a solopreneur start to become the operator?
Man, great question. Great question. So, for real, the solopreneur model is not a sustainable model. It's not, because what it does is it makes you susceptible to burnout. It leaves you open for operating your business and getting exhausted and getting tired. Who knows how long you're gonna be able to operate in that role, right? So what you want to do to enter into that operator stage is you want to get really, really good at learning the ins and outs of your business, right? You want
Right.
to start to develop SOPs, all right, standard operating procedures for your business. Know the ins and outs and document that, right? He who documents can then delegate. But it's hard to delegate when you haven't documented, right?
Document the
If you're trying to
process.
tell somebody, yeah, just do this, I just no, have it down, right? For real, put it together in a document, right? And you want to have all of those systems that are, in some type of document form that you can then teach somebody, hire someone, pass that thing off to them, and begin to replicate yourself in the business, right? I just came from another mastermind. I go out of town fairly often for different things, but I do have people that work for me in the business that know my systems, and they can operate my company while I'm out, right? Even though
Right.
they're more of a support role when I'm here, when I'm gone, they can step in place and literally be me, and everything operates just fine. Right. So I would say the first step you need to do in being an operator from a solopreneur standpoint is begin to document and don't be too scared to delegate. Another bar with that. Nobody is ever going to be 100% who you are in your business, right? This is the part that is sensitive, right? You got to be cool with somebody running your business at a 85 to 80% clip of who you are. They're never going to be 100% you, but you have to be confident that at 80% of who you are is still going to deliver the same experience to the customer. That the whole vehicle of your business is going to be able to run without you, even though it's not you running it. The worst thing that we can do is think that we are irreplaceable to the business, because we will never replace ourselves if we feel that way.
Mm,
It's the worst thing.
man,
You be a solopreneur forever, bro.
that's a major key right there.
Hmm.
Major key. Major
Yeah,
key.
and then you'll never be able to get to a bigger bag, right? Because
Right.
if you in the business every day, how can you expand, right? How can you even have the time to sit down and think of new ways to produce revenue and to grow your business? You can't. You can't. You
Right.
gotta you gotta find a way to get help and train that help and get yourself out of the way if possible.
Facts. And you're right. Right. Like people say they want to have multi streams of income. I mean,
Hmm.
they're not all working all seven or all eight of them right now. They have them on autopilot.
100%. I think, and when we talk about sometimes I kind of hate that framework of the seven streams of income. I kind of hate that people told people that in that way that most millionaires have, because when you look at it, yeah, I mean, most millionaires have way more than seven streams actually, but most millionaires didn't become millionaires with seven streams. They became millionaires with one, and they
Major.
focused on that one stream like a laser, bro, and they cut through everything in their way, and they became a leader in that area, and they made their millions. Now when you make your millions, now you're at a point where you can diversify what your assets are. Now you can become what's on the other side of that cash flow quadrant and become an investor. Then you can start putting your money to work in other places, other businesses. Now you got seven different streams. But what people don't realize is if you become an expert in that one thing, you can branch out seven streams from your one main stream.
Yep.
I do that right now. Yes, I have the mainstream of the main business, which is the rental car income. But look what I've been able to do there, right? I have digital products now, right? I have a whole different product line that educates people on the things that they need to get into this business and sustain it. I have my coaching, right? All of that are different streams of income that were started off of the one mainstream being the business. So start there and stop trying to chase like the idea of passive income, right? It's going to have to get active before it gets passive. Now, when you dig deep enough and you do end up making those millions, then you're looking for passive ways to invest your money. But if you have, I mean, if you think about, seven streams, when you don't have that much money to go around the seven streams, it's not really streaming, is it? It's more just sitting. And
Right.
when water sits for too long, what happens? You get flies, bro. You get insects. You get all types of things. It becomes a swamp. It's not a stream no
Stagnant.
more. It's not flowing. You just got money, and what happens? That money begins to evaporate. See, we got to look at
Mm-hmm.
why we call money currency. I know I got off, but when we
All
talk
good.
about currency, bro, like money is supposed to flow. It's supposed to flow in a current. That's why it's called currency. A lot of the times we get
Not wrong.
kind of indoctrinated into the mindset or idea that we're supposed to be saving money. We say it all the time, "No, I'm stacking. I'm stacking." Well, kind of what happens with that is it's always something that's going to happen. It's always going to be something that's going to eat into that stack. And if you just stacking and that money not moving, then your money is dying in the stack.
And
And
it's
see,
funny you
this
say that
inflation
too.
right now is the highest it's been since 1981. It's eating up stacks right now that are sitting because that money is not flowing in a current the way it was meant to be, right?
Right. And it's funny you say that too because when you said people like stacking or saving their money up and everything like that, they actually I think happened like a couple weeks ago. The Bank of America, a lot of people started losing their money
Yep.
out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and like some people lost 4,000, 5,000. I think one person lost like $15,000 from their bank account, and they don't know
Yeah.
why. Compared to like if they had their money like the stock market or had the money at least moving in another way,
Yep.
they wouldn't have had to go through that or deal with that situation.
Right.
And
Right.
we've always been taught that, saving your money up, is a good thing to do, which it's not wrong, but it's been how you save your money. Like
Right.
have it go into like stock market, let it build over time, get that ROI, build that interest up. So then that way, whenever you need to, you can then take a portion out and use it wherever you need to and keep it moving, you know?
100%. 100%. Cash value life insurance, real estate. There are a lot of different ways that we can actually like park our money from an investment standpoint that it's going to give us a higher dividend than what it's going to get just sitting in the bank anyway, where you getting 0.01%, on the money you have sitting there. And do you know what the bank is doing with your money?
Oh,
They're
then
investing it.
the stock market trading
They're
that thing by
treating it
10.
like currency, right?
Yeah,
So if the bank is making those types of moves with your money, then why aren't you making those types of moves with your money? You know what I mean? So we have to think as if we are our own bank because we really are.
facts, facts.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, Dave, you out here speeding through this jank, bro.
Man, that's
Like
the
you
plan,
out here
bro.
killing the game, bro. Listen, I just want to say thank you so, so much for joining us today on the Imperfect Action Show. You've been amazing. I think you already gave your Instagram handle already.
I
I am
did.
Speed,
I am Dave
right?
Speed.
I am Dave Speed. I am Dave Speed. Make sure y'all guys go and follow. And without further ado, thank y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have an ecstatic day. All right.